2015 should be the year for the consumer. It should be the year for the worker. Better economic data, lower unemployment should lead to higher wages. Low gas prices should embolden the consumer to go out and shop and have consumer confidence. A rising stock market should make us feel great. But if there's anything that could throw cold water on that whole theory, it would be increasing the costs and the burden on large companies who hire employees, making them feel nervous, passing through those costs, ultimately having the unintended consequence of taking it out on the very employees that these policies were intended to help in the first place.
Now, we know that a lot of these employees are going to see lines on their tax form to account for whatever health care benefits they've been given and whether they've been given any tax credits or subsidies to pay for it. And they could be in trouble if all of a sudden they might have misrepresented what they thought they were going to earn this year on their forms. This could get to be a bureaucratic nightmare.
Obviously, look, there's no free lunch. And when you increase these costs, somebody has to pay for it. So whether it's you and I in the form of a more expensive Big Mac, or whether it's the consumer in terms of what costs they'll bear, also for employees of these companies, we'll see more part-time wages created as opposed to full-time employment. That makes people feel nervous as they go into the new year. So I think we have to take a step back and realize policies sometimes backfire. When we create a policy, the wealthy people are already covered by health care for large companies, so they're not affected by this. It's the lower wage service jobs. Again, policies ultimately surprise us all when they don't help the people they were intended to help in the first place. And that's what we're seeing here through the increased burden of the employer mandate that comes into effect January 1st.
All right. Now, a lot depends on if this whole employer mandate thing sticks. I mean, if it doesn't, then all bets are off, right?
Well, it comes at a bad time, and certainly there's two sides to every story. One side of the story is the improving economy, but we also have a situation where interest rates are zero. The Fed's nervous about the economy. They're nervous about weakness overseas in Russia. They're nervous about Brazil. They're nervous about Europe. So the world's not a perfect place. Otherwise, we'd see better data right now. But what you find is there's a lot of pushback on these policies. If they stick, and they come at a time we've got higher minimum wages, we've got higher gas taxes, all these things hitting at once, they could change that whole story. There's a lot of good news going into the year, but that can be fleeting if bad policies take effect and they take away the confidence for employers to hire the people, just as we're getting traction in the workforce, just as we're seeing higher wages that employees have been waiting for years to see.
Real quickly, your thoughts on the markets as we enter the year. Some say that we could be poised for a seventh year of annual gains. Do you see that?
2014 was a year where it paid to be vanilla over Baskin-Robbins 31 flavors. And people starting to question diversification. It looks a little bit easy. Just 5 years ago, everybody said buy and hold was dead. The truth is usually somewhere in the middle. We're going to get some volatility as the Fed changes their policies. That weakness overseas could come back here. There's a lot of good news. Companies are doing some great things. Everybody's working hard in the economy. But again, trees don't grow to the sky and pigs don't fly in a hurricane. So you've got to be careful. You've got to be vigilant about your money. Have a disciplined plan and don't abandon diversification as we look out in the new year, which is just what people started to do at the end of last year.
I like how you added the pigs don't fly in a hurricane. In other words, that they normally might fly, but not in a hurricane. Larry, it's always a pleasure. Larry's going to be my special guest star on my weekend show. He's good at this stuff. Thank you very much again, Larry. Happy New Year.